two players brand new to the stream, but Hugo Fuerte Vieyra, his first regional ever.
Let's go.
Up against Terrance Miller, who coming off, like I said, that top 8 in Peoria, but has never been on stream yet. So
yeah.
First time on stream.
You think he's bitter? I feel like when that's your fun fact, you might be a little salty of the fact that you made top 8 with a very interesting deck, but you know, Community Choice didn't pick you. They didn't want to see the excitement of that Sableye Radiant Charizard. Well, they got to watch you now. Up against Hugo on the other side, very first regional, playing the Gholdengo that you were predicting here. It's 5-0. What an interesting list too. You were talking earlier about the Melodic and the Palkia V-Star. This could be fireworks.
Fireworks, or maybe, you know, a rainstorm.
I'm down.
And there you see Terrance, local for me from Arizona.
Hi, Terrance.
Definitely a local cup grinder. I believe we were all in San Antonio, and he's just sitting there winning the league cups,
yeah,
cleaning up the weekend.
Yep, I remember seeing that tweet as well. So he's playing harder, not smarter, or smarter, not harder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's paying off for him. Obviously, trying to accumulate as many championship points as possible. You're not going to get them if you prize all your VIPs.
Listen, you only need a couple, right?
Well,
two in the
he's
list.
already down a couple.
Meanwhile, for Hugo, a lot of gold there.
Yeah. Do you think he loves gold?
I love gold.
I do too. And maybe first regional, but doesn't mean you can't bling out here with the Gholdengo deck. Why not?
All right, let's get things going. Round 6 here in Portland Regionals. Hugo's going to start things off with a Manaphy in the active spot and a Gimmighoul on the bench with that Battle VIP pass to start.
Top deck, Battle VIP pass.
Top deck?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's pretty good here for this very unique setup deck. Now, it's playing just the 4/4 Gholdengo EX along with a 1/1 Palkia, that Radiant Greninja, Manaphy, and a 1/1 Milotic. That's it.
Yep.
You got to rely on all that, but uses the water support to really get the extra mileage out of that Radiant Greninja.
Yeah, see the additional card draw that you receive and immediately trolling into one of those Gholdengos. It's going to lead to some future draws, but it's always interesting when you see players playing a deck where your main draw engine is also one of the best ways to attack. Oh boy, that's not what you love to see. Double worker and the Phoebus going down off the Pokestop.
Yeah, thankfully, it's a card that's pretty good in this matchup, so Terrance is pretty excited to see both of those workers go down.
I mean, all three of them are pretty important. Think about disrupting the hand, potentially, judges, and all the different shenanigans that can happen, and they're all gone.
Yeah, I do love this Gholdengo list where it plays 4 worker, just straight up draw 3, discard a stadium, but Path of the Peak is such a good card against that Pokemon. And Terrance is playing 3 copies of that stadium in this Mew.
No, you never want to discard cards in a deck like this. You don't want to lose resources or shuffle them away. You just want to build a huge hand. And for Hugo, worker makes so much sense there, continuing to build up the hand Pokestop as well, and then of course trolling with the Gholdengo. You can have 12 cards in this hand by turn 2 and just get rolling.
You see Echoing Horn in Terrance's hand. You think he's going to be nice and put the Phoebus on the bench?
Oh, I'm gonna go with no, but it'd be cute. Doesn't even want to use the Ultra Ball. Going to hold on to that for later on, maybe a resource that could find Mew VMAX on turn 2. Good decision there.
Yeah, did have that Battle VIP pass and a Feather Ball to start things off, get that bench going. And with this Judge here, both players are going to draw 4 cards, but Terrance has those Fusion Strike systems from Genesect V to try to draw a little bit more.
Yeah, always a good resource there when you're using a card like Judge. 4 is not a lot, and you do that because it disrupts your opponent. And there's, of course, an opportunity to find more Pokemon to fuel the Fusion Strike system, draw into additional resources, and maybe find one of those 3 Path to the Peak.
All right, first Genesect draws 3, finds that 4 Seal Stone along with the Mew VMAX, so pretty good start here. Has enough resources to go into the next turn feeling confident.
Yeah, considerations here when you see the multiple Ultra Ball and the Power Tablet. Obviously, it's not a card that you want to discard because you're trying to hit some unique numbers when knocking out Pokemon like the Gholdengo or the Palkia V-Star that potentially could arise. So you want to hold on to that resource, and that's why we see the Fusion Strike system drawing just one card, but it leads into another Fusion Strike system Genesect there.
Yeah, really just Terrance was going to discard pretty much anything.
That isn't Power Tablet.
That isn't Power Tablet.
Yep.
And now you get to see 4 extra cards now, and that's pretty good here. Not having the Path to the Peak, though, so it's going to have to use that Star Alchemy from that Forest Seal Stone to search that powerful Stadium card.
Yeah. You think he was looking for that off the top 4 there?
Yeah.
Unfortunate to use your V-Star ability right there, but it's just so important to lock that into play. You put your opponent down to just 4 cards, and if their only access is going to be an energy, Radiant Greninja is shut off now.
Well, we do start off with a 3rd worker for Hugo already. Discards that Path to the Peak, draws 3 cards, couple energies, and an Origin Form Palkia V.
Ooh, yeah, the arts are going crazy over here. Why not for Hugo? He's got a lot of drip to show off.
Concealed cards doesn't really help out too much. Just an energy and a battle VIP pass you cannot play. And, oh, I love the stacking of that Gholdengo EX, showing off that treasure chest.
Yeah, he's definitely thought about this. That is such a great way to represent this Pokemon. Of course, when you're not in the active spot, you're going to be drawing a little less, but just fuel in the hand right here. We'll take an additional card.
You know, Hugo does not play very many energies, but has drawn a lot of them this turn.
I'm not going to complain. Finding these energies can be a pretty good resource.
Your favorite attack.
There it is, the Rain Splash.
That 20 damage is actually going to matter a lot because of that Box of Disaster. Only triggers the extra damage counters if you have full HP.
Wow. Are we gonna? We can go as far to say that's a misplay from Terrance to not promote the other Mew. That's leaving that Box of Disaster open to be hit for 20 is kind of bad.
Yeah, it's definitely might come in clutch a little bit later, especially Gholdengo EX has 280 HP, I believe. 260, 280. Yeah, we'll find out. Math. So you will require some of those power tablets to take those one-hit knockouts on that 2-prize Pokemon later on. But here, Terrance has that choice belt, has the Mew VMAX, so has the knockout on the Origin Form Palkia V. There we see.
Vacuum.
Yep.
No,
Get rid of that box.
that card's not doing much anymore.
Thin the hand out a little bit more, just so you can draw these last couple of cards. Here you see a supporter Penny in the list. Definitely something that has found its way in and out of a deck like Mew VMAX for a while.
Yeah, when you're playing against Pokemon that can't directly take that one-hit knockout, obviously it's going to be very great to save those Pokemon. Maybe also reusing a Fusion Strike system from a Genesect has been a popular strategy from those players to continue to draw cards, but it's a matchup where you're probably going to get knocked out. Gholdengo loves to take one-hit knockouts, make it rain, but you got a lot of work ahead of you. 310 hit points on the other side.
Now, speaking of a good strategy against this Mew deck, Avery has been such a powerful supporter against this deck throughout the formats that it's been around. Draw 3 cards, but force your opponent to discard down to 3 Pokemon on the bench. And just like that, Terrance is limited in his draw power for the future turns.
Wow. Yeah, look at that. So many cards in his hand. Can you find some more items to juice it up? Sure enough.
Perfect.
Not only finding the retrieval there, but also an energy to toss away, too.
You see the superior energy retrieval in the hand for Gholdengo. Yeah, 260. Yeah, I was right eventually.
One of your 2 options was correct.
Yes, yes.
All right, how many energies are in the discard pile? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, man, there's 2 energies in hand, too.
Ooh.
It's getting
Are
close.
we 1 short?
Yep.
That 1 on the Manaphy?
Yeah.
No!
I mean, the retreat was there. Just promoted the Gholdengo. Wanted to see the additional card, but unfortunately not finding them in the right order.
Do you just deal a chunk of damage now? And
that feels awful.
yeah, especially not having another Gholdengo EX on the bench set up for the future turns. We're just going to have a make it rain for 200 damage here.
Oh, that's like making it sprinkle. What's the point?
That's usually how it rains in Arizona.
Well, Terrance then, very familiar with this, has a target lined up. Needs to deal 260 damage. Very simple number for the Mew players to hit, with a couple assists from the power tablet. Actually, it's a little more awkward, I suppose, with the 270 mark, or the 280 mark that you would have to hit. You have to use 3 tablets to get the job done.
All right, well, there's the double tablet, 250. Yeah, you're right. You need 3 power tablets to take a knockout on Gholdengo.
Yep. Double turbo, great card until it reduces your damage. And unfortunately, you really have to work for knockouts like this. But, I mean, you look at the setup for Hugo. It really is all on this one Gholdengo at this point. Not much else going on.
There we see the switch, emptying the handout for Terrance. First Fusion Strike system needs to find another power tablet, take the knockout. Does find path to the peak.
Cramomatic potentially could be the resource to help out.
You can also Pokestop.
That's just so crazy it might work.
Cramomatic is going to have to discard either the Ultra Ball or the Lost Vacuum here. Big flip. Looks like it was Tails.
Not big enough. Yeah, I like holding onto the Ultra Ball. Thin down.
What resources do you even have left, right? Like, is there just all items in the deck? Can you just Pokestop freely?
We're getting close to that point. We saw Pow Pad in there, so plenty of other resources to maybe shuffle and find additional disruption.
Well, 6 cards yet again. There is the power tablet and another path to the peak to go along with it.
Judge.
Looking like a pretty good turn for Terrance here. Has the knockout lined up already. Just depends on what he wants to do more disruption-wise. There's that path to the peak. And Judge is the supporter for the turn, so it's going to shuffle away that superior energy retrieval that's stuck in Hugo's hand and force him to have a lot here.
Yeah, just 4 cards, 5 off of the inclusion of the top deck. You're looking for maybe a potential counter stadium, but even included, you're going to need the energy for the Radiant Greninja, maybe that final worker to get rid of this path to the peak and draw additional cards, but you're asking a lot of your deck right here.
Terrance finds another Mew VMAX. Kind of want to save that in hand just in case you need a Psychic Leap that damaged Mew VMAX on the bench, but does have a Pal Pad to shuffle in Iono and that Boss's Orders that was discarded earlier on.
Yeah, Boss's Orders, of course, if you can target down the Gimme Ghoul on the other side, you aren't worried about that Pokemon evolving and becoming a threat on the next turn, so good resource there. And then Iono, you got to start considering maybe this is a game where you might deck out. You used a lot of resources. We're going to need that option. Or if your opponent even draws some additional cards, just want to thin that hand down again. This hand's not it, though.
Nope. Hugo promoted that Gimme Ghoul. Still has that Manaphy on the bench with the energy. Does have the evolution, but it cannot use the coin bonus to draw an extra card here. Does have a Nest Ball for another Gimme Ghoul, but I guess the Gholdengo cannot be knocked out again in one hit. 3 power tablets down, so just 1 left for Terrance.
Yeah, math is certainly on Hugo's side at this point. Can buy some additional turns.
Just how many turns do you even have?
Exactly, and I mean, Terrance has 2 prize cards remaining. The damage doesn't go anywhere, which means that Boss's Orders as a follow-up is easily going to remove this Pokemon from play. I think the writing's on the wall, but Hugo wants to see it out.
There's part of me where I actually like playing the escape rope, but yeah, we're just gonna...
I think at this point, just dealing the damage. This Pokemon's basically stuck in the active spot from this point, and you're going to be able to dig for the Boss's Orders, even if it is able to move.
That is true. As soon as that Path to the Peak leaves play, which the 4th worker off the top, Hugo has a little bit of life, but it's pretty much over.
It's so bad. Of course, it's the energy. where you can potentially draw into more cards with the Radiant Greninja. Just hanging onto a thread. But even if you get the knockout, the return is just waiting there.
Yeah.
It has to be a different Pokemon to take the knockout.
And I hate to tell you, Kyle, there is no way to get this Gholdengo EX out of the active spot. That 2 retreat.
Oh,
Putting
man.
on, I guess you have double cross switcher. That is an out.
You're asking so much. Not many cards left. Oh, there's a cross switcher.
Oh,
We have not seen the
coin bonus.
The coin bonus here. 2 cards.
Listen, we got another coin bonus from the Gholdengo in the hand.
For 1?
Yeah.
For 1?
For 1.
That's only 1 card.
It's only 1 card. It could be a cross switcher, though. Oh,
Okay.
it looks like Hugo is just conceding the game, and Terrance letting him know, do you want to go first or second?
Hey, you know, that's my favorite question to ask my opponents because it means I won. Terrance Miller, start things off pretty hot there with the Mew VMAX. Such a classic deck, so consistent, and it showed off its power there. Although the math didn't line up beautifully.
Nope.
Knocked out the only threat on the other side from Hugo and takes that opening game 1 win.
Now looking back at the game, I think Hugo could have sequenced things a little bit differently. That 1 energy on the Manaphy could have brought that up, retreated, then would have had the combination of the retrieval and superior energy retrieval to get enough energy to be able to take the knockout on the Mew VMAX. Just wasn't in the cards. Maybe going into game 2, we'll see that play.
Yeah, I mean, it was in the cards. It was all the cards are right there. It just did not find the right sequence, promoted the wrong Pokemon. It's unfortunate that that's how it plays out, but you really do need to consider every single energy playing a deck like this. And Hugo was fighting, trying to find options. Eventually, the door was closed. Terrance set up everything that they needed with those Paths of the Peaks, and Hugo just not able to draw out.
All right, looks like both players going to mulligan to start things off.
Just flexing all the gold.
Listen, Hugo may have all the gold on the cards in the deck, but Terrance has the gold on that chain.
Let's go, yeah. Is that zipper gold for Hugo?
It's more like a brass.
Unlucky. Yeah, this is certainly an interesting matchup. As you mentioned before, just missing that 1 energy obviously was the big key there. Hugo would have found a 350 damage knockout on that Mew VMAX, and you just line up 2 of those and you close out a game like this. I feel like Hugo has an opportunity here. If you can hold on to those workers, not get unlucky by playing that opening Pokestop, maybe that was the key. Hold that Pokestop, wait until your opponent plays Path, and then you can open up some avenues there.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the prize cards for both of these players here. The 1/1 Origin Form Palkia V-Star in the prize cards for Hugo. Meanwhile, Power Tablet and a Path to the Peak in the prizes for Terrance. It's honestly, I think the Palkia being in the prize cards for Hugo is a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean,
we saw that game 1, just those free 2 prizes for Terrance.
Yeah, if you prize 1, you might as well prize both. And sure enough, that is the way that it worked out here. So Hugo's going to be playing with 58 cards that look pretty solid at this point. Nest Ball to open things up, and Radiant Greninja. Saw some vessels as well.
Yeah, unfortunate having to start the Manaphy yet again with just the small amount of basic Pokemon that you actually have in the deck.
How dare you? Rain Splash was clutch. It could happen again.
But if you Rain Splash turn 2, is that a lot worse than the Rain Splash turn 1?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I feel like Hugo really gets to dictate when that is good or bad, because he doesn't have to evolve into a 2-prize Pokemon until he chooses. And if you just give up that single prize knockout, whatever it may be, then from that point you really get to make this a 7-prize game, and you're only looking for 2 knockouts. That gives you a little bit of time.
Yeah, and honestly, that 20 damage really does matter a lot for Make It Rain. It saves you an extra energy card for those knockouts on Mew VMAX. Meanwhile, Hugo thins out a lot with double Earthen Vessel, finally concealed cards, finds a Gimmighoul, but I think that's it. And honestly, there was a potential he was doing this entire turn without having a Gimmighoul on the bench.
That's a nightmare. If you're not able to find this Pokemon, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. has one at least, but you usually want to chain these together, draw multiple cards with the coin bonus. And that makes you start to worry about what else is going on in that hand. Maybe this is susceptible to a path.
Terrance has a pretty stellar start here, though. A couple of basic Pokemon, Nest Ball, and a Battle VIP Pass to go along with him. That is 5 bench Pokemon to start things off. These Fusion Strike systems are going to start drawing cards very fast.
It seems good.
It's all right.
We've seen this so often from Mew VMAX players. Just really, you get to dictate the pace, draw so many cards, set up all these options, play all those tools down, and by the end of turn 1, you've got 10 cards in the discard pile, 20, 30 cards played, whatever it may be, and you just provide a consistent threat of that Mew VMAX with all the hit points and consistent damage.
Now, Terrance's hand was Ultra Ball and Cramomatic. Decided not to play that Cramomatic and just draw 3 cards. Finds the Judge for the turn, so we'll be able to disrupt the hand for Hugo there and find some more cards off these 4 with still 2 Fusion Strike systems to go.
Yeah, the one piece missing there was to find that Forest Seal Stone. The guarantee of Path to the Peak this turn would be great, but of course you get to see additional cards here, Fusion Strike system, maybe another Pokemon as well. We did see Avery was an issue, but hey, you know what? We'll just draw right into the Forest Seal Stone or the Path.
Yeah.
Way to go.
You play 3 of each here, and another Forest Seal Stone to go along with it, and another Battle VIP Pass. And this is why you leave that bench space open, just so you can burn these Battle VIP Passes as you draw into them.
Yeah. Anyone who knows Terrance knows he's a fashionista.
Yep.
Always showing off some really interesting outfits in these tournaments, and sure enough, he's going to accessorize his Pokemon here too.
Cramomatic is found, but doesn't really need much anything else. You have that Feather Ball that you can use to discard. Hey, and we're going to get a heads. This allows Terrance to search his deck for any card, put it in his hand.
Mystery card.
Now, did he grab Hisuian Heavy Ball? No. No, Box of Disaster is the card.
Well, don't put it on the active, right?
We've seen this before.
Have we learned our lesson?
Well, there is that Path to the Peak, and there is the Box of Disaster on the active.
Why are we doing this? I don't understand. I guess if you're worried about the threat of the turn 2 Gholdengo attacking, knocking you out, but how does that even happen?
Yeah.
There's a Manaphy with no energy in the active. We haven't seen switching cards.
Well, here is the concealed card. It's going to find a Pokestop and a Water after playing Hugo's own stadium to bump that Path to the Peak. And here is Avery.
Brutal.
Terrance is going to have to discard Genesect V and Mew V yet again. We already know there's a Genesect in the prize cards. One thing Hugo is missing, though, is just more Gimme Ghoul.
You start to worry. We haven't seen Gholdengo yet, and there it is.
Straight to the discard.
Brutal.
Yeah, there's actually 2 Battle VIP Pass in Hugo's hand. It's not turn 1, Kyle.
Well, this Heavy Ball's not going to find Gholdengo either, which means this turn's basically over, which is not ideal. You can find a piece of the Palkia there, but the V-Star is in the prize cards, just mocking you, laughing.
I really don't want to see the bench of this Palkia here. It is just a free 2 prize cards for Terrance to get things going.
100%. It's be very worrisome here if you saw this played. It's just easy prize cards. Thankfully, avoiding that situation.
We do see the Water.
That's right. Hey, this is a great way to guarantee that energy's in the discard pile, or a way to retreat this Pokemon later on. The main issue I'm seeing now is if this Gimme Ghoul's knocked out, what are we doing next turn, Jeremy?
Oh, no Rain Splash even, so Terrance getting away with the Box of Disaster on the active Pokemon here.
Oh.
Boss's Orders brings up that Gimme Ghoul, and just like you were saying, we're in dire straits here.
Well, yeah, I mean, even not playing the energy, I understand you want to hold on to that for the Radiant Greninja, but there's no retreating. There's nothing from this point. You're just promoting a Manaphy next turn and in the exact same position. If you only draw 1 Gimme Ghoul, it's going to get bossed again.
Which, by the way, Terrance drew into 3 supporters off that Fusion Strike system after using a Lost Vacuum, getting rid of the Judge in hand. There is the Cross Fusion Strike copying That Techno Blast taking the knockout. And now Terrance is down to 5 prize cards, but it's looking like the game's pretty much sealed up.
Yeah, an embarrassment of riches on the other side here.
Oh, no. Another water off the top as well.
Oh, insult to injury. Yeah, that's not what you want to see. More energies, too. The Ultra Ball.
At least you can discard those Battle VIP Pass now. Post stop. But again, you're not bumping a path to the peak here. Worker, Energy, Ultra Ball.
Okay. Well, it's not the ideal way to search out Pokemon. You'd prefer to obviously have the Gimme Ghouls already played down or use that Battle VIP Pass on the opening turn, but you at least can get rid of these cards. Place 2 of them down, and you can't boss them both, Jeremy.
That is true. That is true. But you're going to have to sacrifice a lot of cards in your hand to do just that.
Yeah. Now the
Are we?
consideration.
Yeah, the Milotic?
Well, protects your hand.
What hand?
Does it protect your bench? Because that's the worry I have here.
I would love to see Ultra Ball discard the Energy and the Origin Form Palkia. But no, just the one Gimme Ghoul yet again. And Terrance already has the boss's orders in hand.
Yeah, you could see the excitement on the other side. Terrance.
The one thing, he needs to retreat, reset the attack.
Of course.
Do you Pokestop?
That is an available option to see more cards.
Does Terrance still have access to Forest Seal Stone?
Looks like it has not been used, which would be a great benefit. Obviously, can draw more
there's
cards.
The switch.
Those are the 2 best cards to find.
A switch to the Mew, free retreat, resets that Cross Fusion Strike. Boss's orders to take the knockout yet again on the Gimme Ghoul. I might even like playing the Power Tablet here just so you can Psychic Leap.
I mean, at this point, just find another Mew VMAX.
True.
And you can just cycle between the 2.
And Featherball does just that.
You will have the 3 tablets for if there ever is.
I don't think it's likely.
Yeah, the Gholdengo, if it ever becomes a Pokemon, but I don't think that that's going to be the case. Hugo's just trying to space out these resources, didn't want to play down the double Ultra Ball, and it's really showing off. This is a problem at this point. Cannot play when you're just benching one single basic.
And now can even just copy Max Miracle, take the knockout with, no, just Battle VIP Pass drawn for the turn. It's not been a game for Hugo here in this game 2. Down game 1 from a pretty close game, just missing those damage numbers. And here, just missing everything.
Yeah, what's happening on stream here, guys? Run into a lot of issues. Obviously, both players have been playing fantastic to get to this point, 5-0. But you run into situations like this. Sometimes your deck just does not want to work, and especially under the conditions that Terrance places you under, Pat to the Peaks, Judges, Ionos, whatever it may be, that has just been enough for to throw Hugo off. And it's just been single Gimme Ghoul threat presented, and Terrance always has the answer.
Now, just a pass of the turn with another Gimme Ghoul. I do believe Terrance is playing just the 2 boss's orders.
Yep.
So both of those gone. Needs Pal Pad here. Oh, that's a 3. That is not going to do it for that Cramomatic.
Well, we see Echoing Horn. That could maybe play down that Palkia if you want to target that for more prize cards later.
With what boss's orders, Kyle?
We'll get there. I'm just looking at more cards to play. Of course, that does open up avenues to where maybe that Pokemon gets evolved next turn, and then you have a threat you don't want to deal with. So
that's in the prize cards, though.
He doesn't know that. Drawing might make sense in this spot. Looks like Pal Pad is going to be found with the Forest Seal Stone.
Again, such a powerful tool card available to this deck. Playing 3 copies of Forest Seal Stone. Only able to use one of them for the game, but you always want to have it. Both those boss's orders go in the deck, and with 3 Fusion Strike systems, I think Terrance might have a good chance of finding another boss's orders.
Nope, you jinxed him. It's over, folks. Yeah, that's 2 additional cards. Ooh, it's not there yet. Double turbo could be played. You could burn tablets if you chose.
Burn that echoing horn.
Palkia is going to be played down on the bench, and this is not likely going to be a Pokemon you target. Gimmighoul's a big threat.
One tablet is played, and here's the Fusion Strike system for 4. There's the boss's orders. Oh.
Yeah, the decision's made though. This was something that I was interested in. Obviously, if you have access to all of your tablets, this seems like a great play. You can take the knockout on this Pokemon, and even if you see the Gholdengo on the other side, you'll have the resources to knock it out at only 260 hit points. The issue is the other one is in the prize cards. Terrance needs to find that right now.
Yep. Well, there is the knockout on the Origin Form Palkia, and does find it out of the prize cards. So
Feels good.
Feels great for Terrance. Unfortunately for Hugo, usually you see a rags to riches story. This is a riches to rags.
Yeah, this is my crypto career.
Irida is the supporter for Hugo. Does play 2 copies of those in the list. Great supporter to be able to search for that Battle VIP pass. Go in second. Search for the water Pokemon like Radiant Greninja or the Milotic.
I mean, you need so many cards.
Yes. You can grab Superior Energy Retrieval here. That gets you 200 damage if you have Gholdengo. But now we're going to opt with a Super Rod.
Yep, there's not even an answer to the Box of Disaster. So even if you take the knockout here, you just...
The answer was Manaphy, Kyle.
There's nothing left.
You do have double Cross Switcher here, but having promoted the Gimmighoul, you have the other one on the bench, but it was just played. So is this a double Cross Switcher?
This is promote Genesect and hope your opponent doesn't have Pokemon cards.
Yeah, already down 3 double turbo energy. The Genesect with the Forest Seal Stone, please. Milo goes to the active spot.
Its favorite place. And yes, that is a pass of the turn. I don't believe the answer's there just yet, but this hand looks like it could be burnt.
And Terrance still has access to at least an escape rope.
And
already used the switch and has access to Penny as well. So if you can thin down the hand enough.
Worth mentioning, this is not a turn where the win is available as well. So you don't want to overcommit in situations like this. Just taking the single prize card is going to be important. If you can take it on the Gimmighoul, that's almost irrelevant at this point because there's a second one played down. Finally, Hugo was able to find that turn.
Now, Terrance does have Judge available, but that gets rid of 1 out of the Penny. Oh, Penny's in the Lost Zone. I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't do that, young man. That's the whole reason for that Milotic there. Well, that's the first time for me on stream seeing the Judge played with that Pokemon out. That's cool.
Like, oh, it's just a one-sided draw 4.
Yeah, that's a bad card. Oh, the Mew found and 2 Ultra Balls in the hand.
Yeah, we're going to start 3 cards with this first Fusion Strike system. Finds the escape rope here. This will allow Terrance to take a knockout on the Manaphy that was promoted by Hugo. This has been all Mew, all match. Fusion Strike energy on one of the Genesects. Just thinning the hand out even more without having to discard those resources. Double Pat to the Peak found.
Yeah.
Has the Lost Vacuum in hand, so that's a pretty safe play there. And Cross Fusion Strike copying that Max Miracle yet again for the knockout. Does Hugo even find a Gholdengo? Does.
Yep. Well, what do you do against this path?
Not much.
There's a lot of superior energy retrievals in the hand. doesn't care about the
There's not very many
the
cards.
treasure chest anymore.
Yeah.
Oh,
The cuteness has passed this aside.
it's not even cool anymore. But this is what you have to do. You have that path in play. Obviously, cannot get rid of it. But your opponent may not have the answer just yet. We know they do. And this will be the turn for Terrance to show that off. Then down, check out what is available.
To be fair, I think the only thing available is that last double turbo energy.
I think he's going to find it.
There's only like 6 cards in deck.
Well, this is basically a guarantee at this point. Then we see the Lost Vacuum played down. Play all these cards. Draw all the cards.
Finds the other tablet to go along with it. There's that double turbo energy. Retreat. And with the last power tablet, able to take the last knockout here. And Terrance moving to 6-0 here against Gholdengo.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of funny that he almost doesn't have the knockout to close the game out if he doesn't have the third power tablet there. But it's what it takes. Had to play every resource there, knew exactly the counts that he was working with.